out of here.
Hello there, fellow adventurers. Well, it's been over a month since my last episode, so what have I been up to all this time? Well, I was in Germany for a week and went to FiendCon, where I picked up some sweet adventure game swag. The games are mostly in German, but I just couldn't resist, especially since they came with a free packet of gummy bears. I've also been playing some games to review in future episodes, such as The Pillars of the Earth, based on the book by Ken Follett. This is a story of spiritual and political intrigue that progresses depending on the choices you make. Then there's Nightlong Union City Conspiracy, which I never heard of until a viewer suggested it. It's a funky looking cyberpunk adventure that's something of a hidden gem. So now it's time to revisit The Secret of Monkey Island. Monkey Island 2 LeChuck's Revenge is another LucasArts classic adventure game originally released in 1991. This is the Amiga version, which comes with a Mix and Mojo wheel for all your voodoo and copy protection needs, and more 3.5-inch floppy disks than you can shake a 3-headed monkey at. A special edition version was released in 2010 with updated graphics, music and speech. As with the first game, I'm going to review the original because nostalgia, but with the added feature of voice acting.
Well, Guybrush Threepwood, you do turn up in the strangest places.
Once again, we played the inimitable Guybrush Threepwood, seen here hanging out with the love of his mighty pirate life, Elaine Marley. This serves as a framing device for the story, which once again takes place deep in the Caribbean.
Deep in the Caribbean, Scab Island.
Ooh, spooky. In the first game, we defeated the ghost pirate LeChuck, a story that Guybrush never gets tired of telling. This time we're looking for treasure, but not just any treasure.
You mean Big Whoop? None other.
We start the game with riches galore, but not for long.
Where do you think you're going, Fancy Pants? You ain't from these parts, are you?
This is Largo, the villain who's put an embargo on the island so no ships can afford to leave. So you could say this is the Largo embargo. We must figure out how to end the embargo and get off Scab Island in search of Big Whoop. As we explore, we meet some familiar characters, such as the men of low moral fiber doing what they do best. In other words, lazing around and not showing a whole lot of moral fiber. By performing the service of polishing one of the men's peg legs, we slowly get our money back one piece of 8 at a time.
Thanks! Here's a piece of 8 for your trouble. Thanks! I'd give you a piece of 8, but, I'm fresh out.
I'm rich.
Another recurring character has taken up residence in the swamp, at the International House of Mojo, which can be reached by taking a ride in a coffin. Here we encounter the voodoo lady again, who gives us a shopping list of items to find in order to make a voodoo doll of Largo. Ah, the traditional fetch quest. That's the stuff good old adventure games are made of. We must employ all our puzzle-solving skill to deal with Largo. In the process, we have plenty of time to soak up the ambiance of Scab Island and its port of Woodtick, where they know all about woodchucks.
A woodchuck could chuck no amount of wood since a woodchuck can't chuck wood.
The special edition commentary provides a funny and insightful look behind the scenes, where the developers answer such burning questions as why Guybrush's pants fall down in this classic graveyard scene.
Okay, so why
This is another thing we fought over. I thought the pants thing, I didn't think that was funny.
I think the pants
And you thought it was the best thing in the whole game.
I did, and I still do. I actually use this as an example sometimes when I'm
What
talking
you used to think
people.
was funny and now realize it's not funny?
No, it's like the pinnacle of humor. It's an untoppable moment.
Once Largo has finally been run out of town, the embargo is over. The Largo embargo, that is. Now we can employ the services of Captain Dread, who sails between the 3 islands of Scab, Fat and Booty by the most direct route possible. Thus begins one of the great treasure hunts of adventure gaming history, finding the 4 map pieces that lead to the treasure of Big Whoop. According to the book Big Whoop Unclaimed Bonanza or Myth, Each map piece was owned by 4 pirates: Rapscallion the cook, young Lindy the cabin boy, Mr. Rogers the first mate, and Captain Marley, who was in fact the grandfather of Elaine Marley herself.
Sugar boots.
Honey pumpkin.
Plunder bunny.
Before he can be reunited with his beloved Plunder Bunny, however, Guybrush must have an invitation and a costume to attend her Mardi Gras party. The costume on the far right looks suspiciously like Max from the Sam and Max games, but in the special edition it magically transforms into the infamous purple tentacle from Day of the Tentacle. Instead of these, however, Guybrush wears something that really brings out his pirate side.
Oh, that is nice. And the boots are a nice touch. Okay, I guess you can go through.
After a not-so-romantic reunion with Elaine, we end up chasing the map piece from one side of the island to the other, leading to what is for me a truly unforgettable scene, the skeleton's song and dance. Before I had to imagine what it would sound like, but now it can be heard in all its bony glory.
Leg bones connected to the hip bone. Hip bone connected to the arm bone.
This isn't just a catchy tune for our entertainment, however, it's actually a clue for getting through the maze in LeChuck's fortress later in the game. Fortunately, Guybrush wrote the lyrics down on this spit-encrusted paper, the very spit of Largo, of the Largo Embargo fame. The Largo Embargo. I never get tired of saying that. Of course, this wouldn't be a Monkey Island game without Stan, who we last met dealing in previously owned vessels. Well, now he's dealing in previously owned coffins.
Howdy! Welcome to Stan's previously owned coffins. We handle the dead for a lot less bread.
Having just reviewed Grim Fandango, the idea of planning your mode of transport to the afterlife isn't such a crazy idea. Speaking of death, as with Grim Fandango and other LucasArts adventures, there's no way to die even if you try and drown yourself.
This monkey head is too heavy to carry to the surface. Considering this game has no drop verb, I'm doomed.
If you're looking for some peace and quiet from the exploits of a mighty pirate, you can retreat to the quiet confines of the Fat City Library. We only need to locate a couple specific books in the catalogue, but it's interesting to browse through here and see what's on offer. There's something for adults like Zelda Carbuncle Tells All, The Memoirs of a Woman of Dubious Pleasure, something for kids such as The Little Organ That Could pop-up book of kidney functions, and something for woodchuck lovers and How Much Wood from the Woodchuck Mystery Series.
But if a woodchuck could chuck and woodchuck some amount of wood, what amount of wood would a woodchuck chuck?
Then there's Great Expectorations by Captain Loogie, which could come in handy for the spitting contest on Booty Island. This is a spittacular scene that's worth replaying just to choose a different name.
I am, of course, Captain Loogie.
The Lukester. Lugorama. Hawking the big ones for fame and fortune.
Well, they call me the Phlegm Master.
The Phlegmster. The Phlegmalizer. The Master of Phlegm.
Juicius Maximus III.
The Juice Man. Max Mucus. He's juicy to the max. Spit away.
Hey, why don't we have a spitting contest right now? Where's Potu? Potu here. Oh, there you are. Would you like to have a spitting contest? Potu spit. Okay, why don't you go first? Potu. Guybrush can hold a seemingly unlimited number of items in his inventory. He even picks up a dog and a monkey. The monkey is used in a puzzle that has become one of the great WTF moments in my adventure gaming life. At the top of this waterfall there's a pump which we need to figure out how to operate. Well, after trying different items at random, I stumbled on something I was not expecting to see. Yes, Guybrush did indeed use the monkey on the pump. But why, you ask? Because it's a monkey wrench. The final part of the game takes place on Dinky Island, which is covered in jungle, and even more jungle. If you wander around here for long enough, you'll reach a call box, which you can use to call the LucasArts hint line.
Lucasfilm Games hint line, Chester speaking.
For some reason, the hint line operator is totally different in the special edition.
Lucasfilm Games hint line, Chester speaking.
Eventually, Guybrush finds the treasure of Big Whoop, and comes full circle to the predicament he was in at the very beginning. The ending of this game has as many twists and turns as Captain Dread's ship. So, if you really don't want to know what happens, please look away now. The first revelation is that LeChuck is Guybrush's brother.
No, that's not true. That's impossible.
Not only that, but he's just a kid in a costume. Not only that, but Guybrush is also a kid. Not only that, they're actually in a theme park and their parents have been looking for them.
Who are you people?
Just the same old family you've always had.
And not only that, but your brother looks like he's been possessed by the evil spirit of LeChuck. So, what does all of this mean? What do you think, Potu?
Sounds like a load of three-headed monkeys to me.
In any case, Monkey Island 2 is one of the most acclaimed and well-loved adventure games, and for good reason. Voodoo-inspired visuals, arm-flailing characters, and phlegm-spitting humor. 7.5 rubber chickens with pulleys in the middle.